Hey everyone, my name is Zach Schrickjen, and today I'm going to break down the full development cycle of my upcoming game, Face Pizza. In this AR mobile game, you build pizzas off your face. This project is currently in development and is my summer internship project for Frontier Digital LLC. It will be released by the end of the month exclusively on Snapchat for iOS and Android devices. The fully released game will be having a snap code, which will be put on my itch.io page and on my website, which will both be linked in the description once again by the end of the month. So without further ado, let's get started. Before I started development, I came up with 3 pitches, each for a different game. After researching the AR mobile games that are out there, such as Pokemon Go, Harry Potter Wizards Unite, and Zombies Run, I discovered there was an untapped potential for incorporating more complex gameplay elements into a traditional AR experience. 2 of my pitches heavily incorporated narrative elements, pushing AR mobile games closer to a more traditional gaming experience. But in the end though, I chose to move forward with Face Pizza, as it had the most manageable scope and the most fun gameplay concept of my original pitches. After designing the mockups, writing up the game design document, and creating the pitch deck, I researched the platform to use for releasing Face Pizza on. I actually planned to use the WebAR platform so you could access it in any browser-based device. So with having 5 years of experience in making games with Unity, I decided to use that as my engine. So I tried researching tutorials for publishing a browser-based AR game. Unfortunately, I was unable to get Unity's built-in AR packages working, so I tried finding external tools instead. I ended up finding Zapworks' Universal AR SDK, which had a face mesh project template, which I could start from. However, Zapworks was extremely limiting, as it was difficult to add to the project without going over the strict 10 megabyte upload limit. So finding a free tool where I could easily implement the AR mechanics that I wanted to with Unity was nearly impossible. I had no choice but to scrap Unity and find a different engine to develop for it. In the end, I decided to use Lens Studio as it was free, was very similar to Unity in terms of its user interface and systems, and had the AR features that I wanted to implement into Face Pizza already built into the engine. Its major downside is that it's not really optimal for developing traditional gaming experiences. Its even stricter 8 megabyte upload limit and unique version of JavaScript for programming made it much more difficult to implement core gameplay elements into Face Pizza. While frustrating, working with the platform's limitations helped me shrink down the scope of the game to more realistically fit the audience of Snapchat users. So then I began creating the alpha for Face Pizza, including the core mechanics and gameplay flow. I found a tutorial for creating a minigame where you need to eat as many cookies as you can and thought that was the perfect starting point. Special thanks to the original poster of this tutorial project. It will be linked down in the description on the Lens Studio forums. But anyways, I heavily tweaked this tutorial to match the gameplay experience that I wanted. I also used Lens Studio's built-in face morph component for rounding out the player's face into a sphere. I also used the built-in face mask components for adding the sauce and cheese. And finally, for the toppings, I added onto a drag image script from another tutorial that I found online, where instances of 2D image prefabs placed on the face based on where the player tapped on the screen. I opened up the alpha to get feedback from a handful of playtesters. Nearly all the playtesters struggled to understand the controls and had trouble seeing the toppings on their face as they were layered behind the sauce and cheese masks. At this stage, the illusion of a Face Pizza wasn't fully clicking yet due to using the morph filter. Even I could tell that the illusion wasn't fully being sold yet. So for the beta, I scrapped the morph filter and used Lens Studio's built-in face meshes based on some feedback I received. And I immediately noticed a difference, especially with the face meshes having clear cutouts of the player's eyes and mouth. I finally felt my original vision was coming to life, motivating me to continue working on the project. Unfortunately, the motivation quickly died down after encountering some gameplay breaking bugs that I struggled to solve for a few days, so I took a break from that and prioritized asset creation. All of the placeholder images, UI, sound effects, and music were replaced with my own assets. But as someone with no prior experience or background in music theory, music composition was its own beast. Luckily, I have some good college friends and alumni who do have experience in those fields, so they were able to help me understand those subjects a bit better and help me make the songs sound slightly better than they originally were. I'm still not happy with how they sound to this day, but compared to my previous efforts in my older game Clash, I could tell there's a lot more effort, passion, and learning experience put into the music for the game. Also, I switched the system for adding the toppings, which were originally on an assembly line and now just simply dragging and dropping from UI buttons. So special shout out to Mikasa from the Lens Studio Discord and forums for helping me improve the system. In the end, Face Pizza was a unique project which I'm really grateful to have worked on. I'm surprised to discover how quickly I transferred over my UI and game design skill set from college to an entirely new engine. Now, as a warning, Lens Studio does have detailed documentation and tutorials, but compared to Unity, there are far fewer resources, especially for solving specific issues. Sometimes Googling an issue, mainly scripting or programming, showed results which were irrelevant to what I was searching for, which is much less common to when I make games with Unity. But despite my issues with Lens Studio, I was able to utilize its unique features to bring the fun, chaotic nature of games such as WarioWare and Tomodachi Life to a modern audience. I'm just blown away with how AR has evolved over the past 10 years since I first saw it on the AR cards on the Nintendo 3DS. But I'm very excited to share Face Pizza with the rest of the world within the next few weeks. So with that, thank you for watching. For future updates on Face Pizza as well as my other game dev projects, follow me on my Twitter, itch.io page, and check out my website. All these will be linked down in the description. Anyways, thank you again for watching and take care. Bye!